With only a reported 50,000 Holocaust survivors remaining in the United States, the time to tell their stories, like those on the wall here at the Holocaust Museum Houston, is right now.
Mostly wanted to talk about Kristallnacht. That's when the Nazis came in and broke everything in our home. And that's when, for me, my life changed forever.
Ruth Steinfeld will never forget.
It's much better to talk about something than to hold it in.
Few Holocaust survivors ever do.
Here it is, Krell.
The Houstonian is still going strong at the age of 89. She was just 7 years old when she lived at the Gurs internment camp in the French Pyrenees. It's a miracle she's even here.
The place was filthy, and they gave us a little bowl to eat out of.
Her parents saved her life. They hid her and her sister Leah within a French Jewish organization.
Often talked about whether we would have the courage to do that, to send our children away.
A selfless final act.
My parents were sent to Auschwitz in Convoy 30, and they were put to death upon arrival.
It took decades before she was finally ready to share her story in 1981.
That's when I made that promise that I would start talking, and I would talk for them.
And the 1.5 million children that would never reach adulthood.
That's my father. Here's my mother.
Ruth's longtime friend and educator at the Holocaust Museum Houston is talking too.
It's important that people do know that the Holocaust did happen.
At almost 91, Bill Orlin vividly remembers his grueling journey.
Sometimes I only had water that I used to scoop up from the ditches so I could not have some water in my belly.
Beginning in 1930s Brok, Poland.
Of the 800 Jewish people who lived there before the war, only 35 survived. And I'm one of the 35.
As his family spent almost a decade fleeing Nazi persecution across Europe.
The reason I remember it because I lived it. I lived it.
His family miraculously immigrated to Canada and then to Houston.
That was me. I was 15 years old. You can see his skin and bones. 9 years we were in transit.
He served in the U.S. Army in the 1950s.
And this is my eye jacket. Can you imagine? I was a Holocaust survivor, occupied the Germans at age 7. At age 21, I am now occupying the Germans.
Orlin's top mission now, to share his experience.
Represent 6 million Jews. As long as I live and as long as I can, I'm willing to talk.
For Ruth, in her proudest act of defiance, her and her sister have 7 children and 20 grandchildren. An amazing legacy to leave for a future in need of strong voices.
I think I've honored my parents, and my sister has, by having a family like this, that Hitler didn't get to do what he wanted to do, which was get rid of all of us.